Good evening, everybody. Thanks for joining in. It is Monday night. It is September 4th, 2023. You are tuned into the Drive-In Speaker Box. I'm your host, Bo, the Boom Operator.
I'm Slick Doggy the Grip.
And for the next hour, we're going to be talking to you about movie stuff. We're going to be reviewing movies that we saw. We're going to be telling you about movies that are coming out. We're going to be talking to you about just whatever comes to mind. If you are listening to the audio version of this podcast, then you might be wondering later in the show, like, who are they talking about? Who are they talking to? Well, we've got a live chat stream that's going on. That's actually been going on for the past half hour because on Twitch we start early. We start about a half hour and do a exclusive Twitch pre-show if you follow us over there on Twitch. But we also broadcast live on YouTube and Facebook Live, so you can get in on all the action. You can chat with us, and we will interact with you live because this show is recorded live. So, with that said, if you're reading the title of this podcast, we saw some stuff this weekend. We saw, well, you saw The Equalizer.
Sure did.
The part 3.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And we both, well, you finished it. I watched a little bit of it. We watched some of the Netflix live action One Piece.
I did. I watched all 8 episodes because people count on me.
because it's a public service. And I went and saw the Fathom Events 35th anniversary release of They Live with Roddy Piper.
Got to watch Roddy Piper get punched in the nuts on the big screen.
Like 17 times. Like that fight scene. And that's, but anyway, we will talk about all 3 of those and more right here on the show. So thanks for joining us. Like, share, subscribe. Just post about it. You know, be our street team. Get people to watch this show. We love it. And we love you for it. So, yeah, but before we get into that, we'd like to talk about what happened in the news. I mean, Jimmy Buffett's dead. That was news. Everybody talked about that. The Smash Mouth guy, he just died like about an hour ago. And I mean, just people be dropping, you know. But neither of those people are movie stars. I mean, Jimmy Buffett's been in movies, you know, and Smash Mouth has been
Jurassic Park, and Smash Mouth is.
And wasn't Jimmy Buffett also in that movie with like? Was it Matthew McConaughey or Snoop Dogg where it was called Moondog?
Yeah, Matthew McConaughey's character was called Moondog. I can't remember what the name of that movie was. We watched it. We reviewed it.
I think it was called Moondog.
No, because I looked it up talking to someone about it the other day.
I'm going to look it up.
Yeah, look it up. But Smash Mouth, you know, they had Shrek, of course, and then
the Beach Bum.
Mystery Men. You know, they had some notable soundtrack features.
Yeah, so, you know, it does relate to movies, and it's always sad when people go. And I mean, I wasn't the biggest Jimmy Buffett fan. In fact, I'm pretty sure it's pretty common knowledge that I absolutely loathe every song he's ever recorded.
Whoa, even Cheeseburger in Paradise?
Especially Cheeseburger in Paradise. Just not a fan, but I'm not like, I hope he dies. You know, that's sad stuff. You know, I've never eaten at a Margaritaville. I've been inside there and I want to punch my face until it turned into a cheeseburger. And
I mean, he was the only good part of Jurassic World, running away with his margaritas, right?
He kind of was. I mean, he seemed like a really cool dude, but I'm just not a parrot head or whatever. One of my really good friends is super into Jimmy Buffett, and I feel bad for the loss that he's having to you know, fight through and persevere, you know, because it's that lost shaker of salt in your soul is whatever. Fuck it. I don't know what else to say about Jimmy Buffett. I mean, this is rum. So here's to you, Jimmy, for helping create a middle lower class white people that I really don't like. So there we go. Yeah. And then the Smash Mouth guy. Was that All Star? Did he do the Shrek song?
Yeah,
hey,
that
now,
was.
You're an all-star. Get your game on. Go play.
But wasn't that the same song that they did in Mystery Men first?
Yeah, but Mystery Men wasn't Shrek.
Mystery Men fucks though.
Yeah, Mystery Men's badass, but Shrek,
and it had Paul Rubens, recently deceased Paul Rubens.
The spleen, but it didn't have Shrek. Everybody likes Shrek because Shrek turned into a meme, man. Everybody loves the internet. Wait, Vince on Twitch coming in hot with The Weekend at Bernie's writer just died. Did he though? Or is this just like a publicity stunt?
Or if you start playing Jimmy Buffett music, is
and he comes back to life
gonna get up
and he writes another screenplay. Yeah, like his family is like, no, he's fine, and he just keeps making new screenplays.
Velvet Santa coming in with the Shrek is love comment. Don't Google it.
Don't do it. Don't do it. In fact, don't listen to anything Velvet Santa says on Twitch, because you're probably going to get hit with Buttercream Gang or some names you don't want to get.
Hey, Buttercream Gang is the tits, though. Everyone knows it.
I don't know.
Hey, you know what?
Buttercream tits. You can just like, no thanks.
Google that. See what turns up.
Shall we?
Talking about movies that don't really have a fan basis, though. You see that Flash made its streaming debut on Max, and next to nobody cared. It had 1.1 million households watch it in its debut, which was...
That doesn't seem like a lot for...
It wasn't. It's not a lot at all. It was 1/10 of a million less than Black Adam, which was not considered to do well.
Oof.
But it still beat the hell out of Shazam 2. And I like that they're just using DC movies as the metric for what sucks in theaters and at home. They're just like, dude, more people watched Injustice on Max than they did Flash or whatever. I don't know if that's true, but I
think that they were really holding out and being like, nah, man, just wait till we get to streaming. Once we get to streaming, it's game on.
Well, what happened is as soon as it got to streaming, more people actually watched it and saw the CGI, how terrible and everything it was. And then they told more people about it, and everyone else just decided to continue to avoid it. So there you go.
Yeah, it's... I mean, and no amount of like, oh, it was supposed to be bad CG. No, you can't fool us with that one. We got fooled once a long time ago with Wolverine Origins, and we will never make that mistake again. So, anyway, what else is in the news? What do you got here?
Well, talking about things hitting streaming, your Mutant Mayhem, your TMNT Mutant Mayhem is already on streaming. Have you seen that?
I did not.
Less than a month in.
That means you should check it out.
It's already hitting stream. I'm not going to pay $20 to watch it at home when I could watch it on my A-list for free. I'm not going to watch it on my A-list for free.
That's what I'm saying. You wouldn't go to the...
That's 3 hours of my life that I could
not.
do so
much. It's barely 2.
Plus 20 minutes of trailers, plus 15 minutes to drive to.
You don't have to get there to the... Oh my gosh, you're just like making up excuses at this point.
I'm just telling you.
I've watched you go through way more hurdles to do something that you will enjoy less.
But did I know I would enjoy it less at the time?
I don't know. But RL over on YouTube says, hello. Thoughts on Equalizer 3? Yes.
Yeah, we're going to get to
that's coming up as soon as we give you the new releases in theaters this week. Then we start reviewing movies. So stay tuned.
Also, streaming stuff. Did you see that Black Demon, the one about the oil rig and the shark in the Gulf of Mexico, like the demon shark? Mm-hmm. Apparently, it's kicking ass on streaming.
Oh my god!
It's doing really well on Prime, so they're talking about a sequel to it, much like the what was the one with the tower, where those girls climbed the tower in the desert, and it got its sequel announced because it did so well on streaming. Yeah. You got that. So,
well, speaking of other ridiculous things, if you're not familiar with the legendary trash maestro Charles Band, who is the head of a little company known as Full Moon Features, like its responsibility, or they're responsible for movies like Puppet Master, Ginger Dead Man, Evil Bong, and Subspecies. They are starting a film project right now, tentatively called Barbenheimer. And one of the taglines is D-Cup, A-Bomb. And, yeah, exploding soon. So, I mean, I'm gonna just let that one simmer.
Terrifier 2 is going to be back in theaters again as well.
For October?
Probably. And they're entertaining that idea of Terrifier 3 since the second one did so well. And the last bit of streaming stuff is that Starz actually lowered their streaming cost if you buy yearly.
Oh,
by $5. It went from $74.99 to $69.99
in a time where everybody's increasing costs.
at a time where everyone else is increasing. And they said,
what's on Stars though?
what's that one about the people that go through the time love story thing? What's it called? People watch it, not me, not us.
Yeah, not me.
People watch it. But the president of the domestic networks, Allison Hoffman, said that she thinks that Starz is able to lower its prices because, unlike other streaming services, it's profitable. I think their budget is smaller and they don't go over it as often. So Starz is profitable, meaning they can lower their streaming. And then since you brought up Barbie, you see that it's now the top grossing film of the year. It beat Mario.
On planet Earth.
What world are we in that Mario and Barbie are competing?
Our movies.
Yeah.
I think that's the
top,
bigger question.
Like, no one watched Mission Impossible, but Barbie and Mario Brothers
made all of the money. Be like,
Yeah.
I only want to go to the theater see good movies. Mario. Like, I don't know. Other news, I don't know. I thought this was cool, mainly because it was revolving around Interview with the Vampire. But AMC struck a deal this week with the Screen Actors Guild and the AFTRA acronym writers peoples for getting their spin-offs of The Walking Dead, but who cares about that? But more importantly, Interview with the Vampire back on track and moving again. So some studios are making progress with this, which, is good. Let's just hope that the rest of the studios start to not be such heartless pieces of capitalist shit. Speaking of which, I'll be reviewing They Live briefly again later in the show, so that's relevant.
Well, speaking of people getting rid of every bit of the money that they have, did you see that Taylor Swift's movie of her concerts, the Eras Tour, which comes out in October on the 13th, it beat a AMC Theaters pre-sale record so easily.
Well, and also Blumhouse's new Exorcist movie, they have that Friday the 13th release date. They're like, that's the same thing as Taylor Swift's whatever. They're like, what are we gonna do? We can't go up against this, but we're a horror movie. And everyone's like, don't mess with Taylor Swift, dude.
They think they can't go up against a concert footage movie? That sucks.
It's Taylor Swift though.
Yeah, well, it sold $26 million worth of tickets in a single day, crushing the record set by Spider-Man: No Way Home.
And Vince on Twitch just said it also beat The Force Awakens pre-sale, which was. But the hype around that though.
Which one was that? Out
was
of the three, was that the first one?
The first, Force Awakens.
Before everyone thought it would be shit, but no one knew that it was shit.
Yeah, because we had already gotten the prequels. We're like, but this one's supposed to be a different director, so it's gonna be good, right?
Yeah, but the trailer was just like Silver Stormtrooper and a girl on Tatooine instead of a boy this time. Remember? And they're like, also Millennium Falcon or whatever.
Yeah.
And then it turned out that the movie was much dumber than that.
Everybody pre-saled just to see Millennium Falcon again, because that was everybody's favorite character from that movie. Yeah. It was a pile of metal. Better not put a scratch on her.
Then I think still streaming, I guess. You see that a lot of investors in Disney are suing Disney.
I didn't see this.
Yeah.
Tell me more.
Lying about the losses suffered by Disney Plus, because they were told that Disney Plus would start turning a profit, and
and we all knew that was never going to happen.
And it's just not happening. And they said that former CEO Bob Chapek used certain tactics. Like putting Disney Plus exclusives onto Disney Channel and stuff like that, so that he could claim viewership of that project and lie about the success of certain things that were Disney Plus material to the investors. And so all of them are very upset with it. And
the current Bob is talking about like scaling back a lot of Disney Plus because they're like, we're just losing our asses on this. And I mean, a lot of Disney. they for a long time thought they were too big to fail. And I mean, yeah, they are pretty freaking too big to fail, but they're not too big to suffer losses. And, like the Star Wars Galaxy Motel, where they're like, we'll just make this super immersive experience and people will pay $10,000 a night, right?
Oh, yeah, the Galaxy Tours hotel thing where you're on, like, the ship in space, but they charge you like you're actually on a ship in space. Like, you can take a ride on a Virgin Galactic ship to real space.
For cheaper.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you just won't. Maybe you will see aliens. I don't know. UFOs are real. Apparently now confirmed by the government. Have you been to that website? What's the new website? The UFOs are real website. What is it? The Pentagon launches a new one-stop shop for aerial phenomenon. Come on.
I hadn't. No, I just always kind of figured. And then when they're like, yeah, aliens are real, I'm like,
there we go.
Cool.
AARO home. Here, where's my little boop? Yeah, there it is up on the screen. It's like, welcome to the website for the All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, the AARO. Our team of experts is leading the U.S. government effort to address unidentified anomalous phenomenon, UAPs, using a rigorous scientific framework and data-driven approach, except for our website looks like it was made in 1995 with HTML frames. Look at that. Look at those frames.
If anything, it should teach them that, they were all, I'm sure they're always afraid that the public can't handle certain things, and then they find this out, and turns out no one cares, and they should just give us the crap that they've been holding out on us. Like, you remember those interviews with Bill Gates from, like, more than a decade ago, where he's like, oh, yeah, dude, my entire house is, like, touchscreen cabinet doors and, like, modular cutting board spaces and everything like this. Just give us that crap, man.
Yeah, that's what we want.
Yeah.
I mean, this is... Come on, what is that? What is this dot?
It's an Imperial probe droid.
Yeah. And then, yeah, your Tauntaun gets lost. And it's like flying over the 7-Eleven. Yeah, it's just like just a dot. My Arlo home security system looks better than this crap. Like, get out of here with this.
Yeah, these are cameras from space or whatever.
You'd think space cameras would be better. All right, government. It's just trying to control us. Anyway, let's talk about what's coming out in theaters this weekend, and then let's talk about some movies, because the RL wants to know. He wants to know what you thought about Equalizer. So let's talk about what's coming out in theaters this week, because it's just a bunch of stuff. The new latest money grab from the Conjureverse or whatever is another tertiary side character based off of a prop from a prequel to a sequel that now has a sequel to itself, which is The Nun 2. So not to be mistaken with The Nun 1, which is based off of a prop from one of Conjuring 2 or 3, maybe? Or was The Nun a picture in Annabelle, which was a prequel spin-off based on a prop off of The Conjuring 1? Anyway, whatever. It's fucking stupid. And it's 1956 France. A priest is murdered. An evil is spreading. The sequel to the worldwide smash hit following Sister Irene as she once again comes face to face with Valak, the demon nun.
I'll just be happy to get this trailer off of the movies that I go watch.
Why? Because you get scared?
Yeah, dude. I get so tired of horror movie trailers in front of all of the friggin'
No, that's not what I
comedies
said.
that
I didn't say
go
do you
to
get
watch.
so tired. I said you get so scared.
Yeah.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
I'm in a theater by myself and it's dark and there's weird noises.
There's a spooky lady going, "Come on, Jake. Jake, can you hear me? It's me, the demon nun. Let's have a spanking. You've been a bad, naughty boy."
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound like a horror movie.
It could be. I don't know. Is that what happens, Jake?
Man, I don't like the trailers is all I'm saying.
Come on, Jake.
I don't either, to be honest.
Yeah, I get so over it. Like, I'm going to the theater to watch a comedy and they're like, yeah, comedy, dogs biting dicks off, or Blue Beetle boys getting their boners poking into Brazilian girls.
Whoa.
And then that's what happened in those movies. Oh, and then before you get to see like Blue Beetle boners or like dogs biting dicks off, you have to watch nuns jump scaring you for no
Jake,
reason.
Come into this confessional booth and give me a little bit of prayer time. Yeah, that's what's going to happen. Night Alice just said, I did enjoy, I think it was Warrior Nun. Warrior Nun's different. Warrior Nun's not like the spooky Conjuring. I mean, the thing that pisses me off is, like, I'm not against horror movies. You know me. I'm not a big lover of horror movies either. I like spooky movies, sure. But this kind of genre of horror I really don't like, because they're just churning these things out for a minimal budget, knowing that people are going to go, oh, I just want to go get spooked a little bit. And then they'll go and they'll watch this movie, and they don't care what's going on in the movie as long as they get jump scared once. Like, it's more of a ride than a movie. And they know that it's going to make a bunch of money, and they're going to keep making them. So, yeah. Also coming out in theaters this week, My Big Fat Greek Wedding 3, because that's a thing that we all really needed. And it's after traveling to Greece for a family reunion, a woman attempting to locate her deceased father's childhood friends, and hijinks ensue. So getting the gang back together, a little Fat Greek Wedding Part 3, even though it probably has nothing to do with a wedding, I guess. It's just, you got to keep the brand strong. So there you go. That's coming out this week. Also coming out this week is Aristotle and Dante Discover the Secrets of the Universe, which is it's like one of the, I don't think it's Sony Pictures Classics, but it's going to be in kind of expanded release. It's based on a book by Benjamin Allaire Sañez. It's set in 1987 in El Paso. It's the tale of two teenage Mexican-American loners as they explore their friendship and the difficult road to self-discovery. So that's coming out. I've heard good things about this one. It probably won't come out in a theater near you. It'll be probably limited release, maybe light expanded, but you can check that out. And then also coming out is, and it probably will not be in wide release either. It'll be either direct to streaming or limited. It's called My Animal from director Jacqueline Castel. It is another about a tormented figure skater. And they're like a kind of the trailer reminds me of like Cat People. If you ever saw that one, it has a really good score with Giorgio Moroder and like David Bowie. And it's like, see these eyes of red. It's like really, really good.
Dude, Cat People's a good song.
It is. Putting out the fire with gasoline. Like, it's so good. And it's a pretty decent movie, too.
Moroder helped Bowie with that song?
Yeah, he did.
That's why it's a banger.
It is so good. But anyway, the trailer looks pretty interesting, and it's got Amanda Stenberg. You may remember her from the Sabrina the Teenage Witch series and all that other stuff. So one of those up-and-comers that I talk about. But that's really all that's coming out in theaters this week. Not a whole lot of big stuff. We've got another week or so before Haunting in Venice comes out, which I'm looking forward to because it's more Agatha Christie, you know.
I don't know if I want to watch it or not, because is it creepy or is it Poirot?
No, it's Poirot.
But the trailer looks creepy.
Yeah, I agree. The trailer.
They're trying to, because here's what I think they're trying to do. They're trying to capitalize on the people that see movies like The Nun and go, I want to go get spooked out and jump scared.
And then the whole trailer has like jump scare stuff in it.
But no actual jump scares. So I feel like, because Kenneth Branagh is the kind of dude that's like, I'm going to sell him a movie about a superhero from Mount Olympus, but then I'm really going to make a movie about tragic dad loss. And then they're like, the first Thor sucks. And it's Kenneth Branagh, and he's like doing Shakespeare. And because he directed like the first Thor. And Kenneth Branagh, I think this is going to be the biggest bait and switch in Hercule Poirot like history ever.
I've liked his Poirot movies.
His Poirot movies are fun, except for they can't figure out how to use a fucking non-LED light bulb. Don't get me started on that. But yeah, I think it's going to be really good. Michelle Yeoh's in it. Kenneth Branagh's in it. Tina Fey is in it. You know, you've got a cast here, and I think it's going to be fun. I mean, it's Poirot. Hercule Poirot.
Yeah, but if it's creepy, though, I'll be very upset.
Well, because you know it's Hercule. There's never any supernatural. It's always a whodunit.
Yeah, but the trailer shows like real ghosts.
Yeah, because they're going to try and sell it to the people who go, what are we going to see now? I saw the nun and it was super scared. Let's go get scared. And then they'll go see this and go, why is everybody talking like a European fancy boy? I don't even like this.
Poirot, Scooby-Doo.
Oh, my God. Yes. Dude. Scooby-Doo. Yeah, it's going to be so good. I can't wait. I really like these Poirot movies. I love a good whodunit. They're so cheesy, and
Death on the Nile had some super cheese in it for sure, but it was fun.
it was fun. Murder on Orient Express was quite good, and I did not expect that movie to be as good as it is because it's been done before. But Kenneth Branagh loves this stuff, and he does a good. He does it justice, I think. So, and I mean, it's Agatha Christie. Like, how spooky is it gonna be? Like, someone's gonna die, and it's because they're gonna die like in the first 5 seconds, and they're like, mystery. Ooh, who did it? And it's gonna be like the second character that you meet in the thing. And then at the end there's gonna be this whole reveal where Poirot knew the whole time and he was playing you out, and you're gonna be, yeah, Poirot's so cool. Yeah, they are cozy mysteries, as Vince on Twitch said. Very cozy. It's why I like the Lupin series that hit Netflix, is because Lupin's gonna get away. He's gonna get the jewels. It's he's the bad guy, but it's the caper that's fun. Did you watch the Lupin?
No.
Oh, it's French. Watch it in original French language.
I've read the Monkey Punch Lupin the Third.
Oh, they're so good. Lupin is so good.
I don't want to sit around and listen to French.
Oh, but it's Lupin. He's French, dude. You sit around and watch it in Japanese.
Yeah, I don't like European languages.
Yeah,
Watching
like that one.
Movies in Euro languages are gross, and I hate them.
That's a little racist.
It's not.
What problem do you have with other people's languages, Jake?
They're gross, and I don't like them.
They're gross.
Yeah, they're mouthfuls, and they're nasty, and I just don't like it.
But France is the language.
Exactly. That's exactly it. Yeah.
But you like American. You like show your seals.
Show your seals. As much as I like Jean Reno, I don't want to sit and watch like a whole French movie. I watched Pink Panther in all of its incarnations.
But what about The Professional?
Yeah.
Leon?
He doesn't, it's not in French.
Yeah, but he talks like this.
Yeah.
He has
That's how Jean Reno talks.
Yeah, because Jean Reno's a badass.
Yeah.
He's so cool.
Yeah, but the director of that, what's his name, old Fifth Element guy?
Oh, I was just talking about it. Luc Besson.
Yeah, Besson. He's a creep, man.
He's
The
a
Professional is
freaking
based
weirdo.
on his real life desire to touch child women, little girls and stuff. He's a creep. He's a French creep. I don't want to watch that.
Sacre bleu.
Yeah.
Well, I like French movies. I'm sorry. I think they're fun. Man Bites Dog is a really great old classic French movie that I really enjoy. If you've
Isn't that Jean Reno?
No, Man Bites Dog it's a black and white mockumentary. It's about a documentary crew that's going around like interviewing this hitman, and he's like an assassin, and they're trying to do a documentary on like the life of an assassin, and it's just like an artsy fartsy like French film, and it's really good. Vince said he saw it in the 90s. Yeah, it's quite good. It's and it's supposed to be like found footage, like before that whole thing became a genre or whatever. But okay, well, that's the news. That's what's coming out in theaters. Let's talk about Equalizer 3, because the person that asked
Oh, we're doing that first?
Well, what else are we gonna do?
I thought we'd do One Piece first.
Well,
No,
because the guy that was wanting, I just like give the people what they want.
All right, let's talk about Equalizer 3.
Let's give it to
Let's
them.
do it.
Let's do it.
The third in the
You've
series.
got 5 minutes.
That's fine. I can do it, actually.
Or how many minutes does he give him?
He only gives them seconds.
Okay, you have 420 seconds.
Yeah. Equalizer 3, third in the series. It's the end of the franchise, right? Antoine Fuqua.
Well, the first one
Denzel
was
Washington.
2014 to now. Yeah, that's when the first one was.
Yeah. There's not a lot that happens in this movie, but it's perfect.
But it's still Antoine Fuqua.
Yes,
and he's great.
Yeah.
As a director.
Everything about it is good and true to the character. And even though it's not like some super action movie, it's not just like guns blazing all over the place. There's not like a final showdown.
Denzel's like 70.
Yeah. It's a very quiet movie, and everything is slow and dramatically paced and well thought out, and it's not like things just jump out of nowhere or happen out of sequence. Everything is just the way it should be.
How is Dakota Fanning, though?
She's barely in it, man. It doesn't matter.
Because, like, my frame of reference with Dakota Fanning...
Man on Fire with Denzel Washington. Badass movie.
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, it wasn't that. It was, I mean, like, Secret Life of Bees is, like, more where I go.
So, the movie opens up, he's already destroyed this, like, Italian mafia headquarters, right? Like, this, like, vineyard of this mafia, and the leader of this mafia is coming in, and because he's been called, and he walks down all the stairs to get into the basement of this vineyard, past all the bodies that Denzel Washington's left there, and he's like, well, how come these two guys guarding you are still alive? And he's like, oh, that's because I was waiting on you, you know. And he's like, you took something and I want it back, because that's like his thing. That's what he does. He's the equalizer. And he was like, oh, well, you're not going to get it. We're just going to kill you because you're dumb. It's like 5 feet that direction. And you screwed up. And he goes, okay, I'm going to give you 9 seconds, and that's how long you have to decide the fate of your life. And the dude's just like, what? And he's like, I'm going to kill that dude, this dude, that guy's going to do this, and then I'm going to shoot you. And he's like, yeah, right. And then it happens.
Which is very like Jack Reacher-esque, too.
Yeah.
It's like characters like that are like, this is what I'm going to do, and like, you have a choice now. And everyone's like, no way.
Yeah, just it opens up with like the precise brutality and amazing skill of McCall, right? Robert McCall, Denzel Washington, being super badass. He drops his guard for a second. He gets injured right at the very end, and then he ends up in this like small town Italy.
He's old.
Maybe because he's kind of over it, yeah. But he ends up in small town Italy, and he heals, and he meets all these people, and everyone kind of treats him as one of them.
I want to go like become a small town Italy.
Well,
like,
you got to be
guy.
like a super badass CIA guy.
Maybe I am.
But then, of course, more mafia stuff shows up, and he's like, I'm going to protect this town. And he does. And like I said, it's super slow pace. It's just about him acclimating to this town and being like, this is where I belong. This is where I want to be.
These are my people.
These are my people.
Does he do this?
He doesn't do Italian hands, but there's a couple of instances.
There's some Italian hands.
Yeah.
They're throwing Italian hands.
Yeah.
Come on.
It's a badass movie, man. I had a really good time. It's it's super slow paced. It's very dramatic paced, and at the very end, you have him versus like
The bad guys.
There's two bad guys in it, right? And the first bad guy, he's just like, don't do that, because I don't want to do this. So just go somewhere else. And the guy's like, forget you, bro. And then like 10 seconds later, it's like, let's kill that guy. And then Denzel Washington just comes out of the shadows and it's like, murder, you're dead. And like, that's the end of it. And he's like, it's over. And then that guy's brother is like,
well, spoiler alert.
nah, dude, it's not really a spoiler, because I mean, you get 2
Well,
seconds.
you know he's going to win, right?
You know he's going to win. And then the last bit of it, you think it's going to be a showdown. It has all this buildup of showdown with like that guy's older brother, who's like the head of the mafia. No, Denzel Washington just shows up at that guy's house. And just the most like badass like ninja murder
Denzel
stuff.
Washington does ninja stuff?
Yeah, and it's sick. I had a really good time in this movie, even though it's super slow paced. It's very dramatic. It's high entertainment. It's a good time. It's perfect for the character.
There's a point where these movies where these guys like Liam Neeson and Denzel Washington have a set of skills. Like at a certain point, I think those set of skills are like staying regular and using a walker and eating your vitamins on time.
No, not at all. This movie stays true to its character, and it's good for the franchise, and I like the way they did it. And instead of having something like a big John Wick showdown where everyone's getting shot,
someone
and all
falls
this stuff.
down 76,000 flights of stairs.
Like, you know, the whole movie and the whole thing about this character is like, he's a badass, right? Like, that's his whole thing, is like, he kills people, he gets the job done. He's efficient. He is as efficient as possible. And it sets this character up for the 3 movies, and you finally get to see him at like
Retiring.
just being peak efficiency.
How is he peak, though?
Well, because he doesn't let anyone hurt him.
Okay.
Is the whole thing. It's very good. I had a good time with it. Definitely worth going and watching.
Says the guy that refuses to watch it. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Well, there was real ninja stuff in this movie.
I believe the cartoon animated ninja stuff before I believe Denzel Washington ninja stuff.
Dude, throwing shurikens and yelling cowabunga ain't ninja, bro.
Well, neither
Coming out of the shadows.
neither
and
is going to your trailer and taking your heart meds.
Whatever, dude. You like the last two, right?
I mean, I'm sure I like this one, but I'm just saying you're not. I'm just pissed you're not seeing Ninja Turtles.
I liked
yet.
everything about this movie. It was good. It was very well done. I liked it.
Okay. Okay. What if it had superstar Rajni in it instead of
Oh
Denzel?
my god. It would have been so good.
Next up on the drive-in speaker box.
There is a movie like that. It's called PETA. It's on like Netflix and Amazon. Watch it. It's super badass. It takes place at a school instead.
Yeah, PETA is kind of
Yeah.
fun.
PETA
It's pretty
rules.
It's pretty
PETTA.
Pretty ridiculous.
Watch it in Tamil. That's its original language. It's very good.
Always watch anything in its original language. Just do it, please. I mean,
But you can't find Chinese movies in their original language, like old Jackie Chan stuff.
yeah. I mean,
The Chinese audio track doesn't exist.
well, I'm just saying if it's available, if it's an option,
Mm-hmm.
you know, just always make a point to watch it in the original language. It is,
Except for French. Listen to that shit dubbed.
but it's so much better. It's so much better in French. Yeah, au revoir with this. No, French is is a good language.
Anyhow, Equalizer did a good job of closing out the
he just
series,
loves fromage,
and it
in his
upheld
movies.
the omelette du
In his
fromage.
Cinéma fromage. Cheesy movies.
Yeah, but
That's what
you
you
know
like.
Dexter, when Dexter learns French, but all he learns is omelette du fromage, but it scores him all the babes.
Omelette du fromage.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, Dexter, say it again. Omelette du fromage. Yeah,
That was a really good episode of Dexter's Laboratory.
because his tape just skipped.
Omelette du fromage.
Dog, I'm going to tell you something, true story about the childhood of
About
mine.
trying to speak French to girls? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I was like, dang, that works. And I walked up to like every girl and was like, omelette du fromage. Turns
That's
out
why you don't like Rich.
Yeah, because it didn't work. They were like, what are
that
you
could
talking
be.
about?
Yeah, I was like, stupid French doesn't even work. Yeah.
Oh, shit. Okay, well, speaking of other foreign language movies, let's jump on this One Piece, shall we?
There's nothing foreign language about this one.
I know, but it's based off of a very well-known manga, a very well-known anime.
The world's most successful media franchise to have ever been, ever.
Yeah, and now they're turning it into a live-action Netflix show that is. I mean, the creators of One Piece are involved in the production.
There's one creator
One.
of One Piece, Eiichiro Oda, or Oda Eiichiro, and he had to tell them multiple times to reshoot and do different scenes, and they went through it about 6 different times, and this is just what they ended up with.
So, as a person who doesn't absolutely worship everything that is One Piece, I, went into this kind of blind and was like, okay, I don't know a lot of these characters. I will do research as I go along. And I will say, from an outsider standpoint, that some of the casting was pretty good. Like, I thought that Usopp looked very, very much like the person that I Googled to see what Usopp looked like. I thought that...
Usopp looked like Yasop. He did not look like Usopp. Continue.
Okay. Well, he looked like a Sop. He looked of the Sop lineage. And the guy that was Roronoa Zoro,
Zoro is like the one.
he was pretty cool.
Yes, Zoro looks, sounds, acts like Zoro. Zoro is the one spot where they nail Zoro and Zeph. Zoro and Zeph,
I
they
also
did very
thought
well.
the annoying son of the axe hand,
Helmeppo.
because I don't know the character at all, and from what I Googled, and what I know about anime, like butt jokes, character types that are like this, I thought his casting was okay, even though I hate his character. But I'm like, he embodies what I would think of one of those like annoying.
Helmeppo's a doucher, is his whole character.
He's a total doucher.
Until he gets trained by Garp. Him and Kobe get trained by Garp, and they become like...
Oh, they both become things?
Yeah, they both become some of the like...
So does Kobe stay a Marine?
Yes, yeah. Kobe and Helmeppo become super Marines, and they're
But
like...
are they good guy Marines?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
And they're some of the baddest ass Marines that there are because they were trained directly by Garp.
Garp was the guy playing Go, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So the whole thing is you don't get to see Kobe and Helmeppo after you first are introduced to them until after they're trained by Garp when they reunite with Luffy at Water 7 on the Grand Line. Unlike in this show where you see Kobe and Helmeppo
very quickly
every fucking episode.
So, and this is where I get my personal apprehensions to this show is sometimes there are things that exist in an animated world that are so fantastical and so crazy that when you try to translate them to live action, it's just stupid. And you know, some like shouting out your finishing moves, like the gum things, and the chop things.
They did that thing of they said it was stupid out loud so that you couldn't.
But it's still stupid.
It's still stupid.
The character that they
approached it incorrectly.
The actor that they got to play Luffy, he looks the part, yes. And I don't have enough frame of reference to see how just like optimistically stupid this character is all the time.
That's the whole thing. Luffy is stupid. He's always hungry.
Okay.
He's the dumbest rock
then maybe
in the world.
He nailed this character.
No, he wasn't enough.
He wasn't stupid enough?
No.
Oh, God.
He was too serious too often.
Okay, because I was just like, this guy is a ding-dong. I thought that Nami was pretty cool. It wasn't heavy-handed, like, look, I'm a girl in a world of pirates. And, you know, which I expected out of Netflix at this point.
Yeah.
I think she just fit right in and was, like, playing her character. And when they try to inject things like, what was this, Buggy the Clown, and, like, all these characters that are just so fantastical, and I can imagine what they'd look like in an anime setting, and seeing them on this was very jarring to me. Like a guy that can be sliced into tiny bits, but then comes and fits back together, and his bits are all flying around, and he has a big fake clown. Like, this is a thing that I don't want to see in real life.
That's his real nose. They have it where it's like...
It's his actual nose.
It's his nose, yeah.
It's very weird
you don't
to
ever
watch.
Really get to know. So,
I want to know what you thought, because to me it was difficult to watch, but I didn't hate it.
It is very difficult to watch. I absolutely hated it. My brother that loves One Piece couldn't even get through the first 30 minutes, and I struggled. I struggled to get through it. I fell asleep. I tried to watch it again. I had to turn it off, and I came back to it later.
But apparently it's doing well. People are enjoying it, and the production value, I will say.
Is it doing well? Yes. Are people enjoying it? Not necessarily. Just because it's number one.
Okay.
Because people have morbid curiosity. Like, I watched all 8 episodes so that I could come here and fucking talk about this dumb, stupid show.
I thought Shanks was cool.
Shanks wasn't cool enough.
Okay.
But he wasn't bad.
But you also have 1,000 episodes of reference.
Exactly. And in the first 3 minutes of this show, they get something that they've had seen over 1,000 times wrong. They get everything about Gold D. Roger wrong. They get his speech wrong. And guess what you hear at the beginning of more than 1,000 fucking episodes and numerous movies? The speech given by Gold D. Roger, and they get it wrong, and they put Garp there for some reason, and they had Garp treat Roger like shit. Garp and Roger are best friends. Garp took Roger's son and protected him from the world government because they are best friends. They fought alongside each other and kept each other alive against worse pirates than Roger because he's a good guy. And they had Garp treat Roger like shit and oversee his fucking execution.
Well,
no.
And so I read
fucking no.
I read also that this this show is derailing a lot because the character
so insanely
what was the goat,
much.
The goat person,
Mary.
Yeah,
they fucking murk Mary.
He was in it for like 5 seconds and he's dead.
Yeah.
And then because I looked him up and I was like, oh, he's in a lot of episodes of this. But more than 30 seconds of one
well,
episode.
Yes, Mary lives.
And the boat's named after him.
Yeah, there's a lot of brutal murders in this show, and people just get cut in half, and they're dead forever.
Is that not in the show?
No.
Okay.
No, it's a shonen, man. It's one of those things where no matter how terrible the enemy and stuff, almost everyone lives.
Well, there's a lot of dead people.
They'll get grave injuries, but they live through it because the whole thing, the thing in shonen that's worse than death is losing your pride or having your dream ruined, right?
Not getting a girl kissing you.
Right, and they force that in the show a lot, is that it's all based on dreams. Everyone has their dreams, but they don't do enough with it. You get little tidbits of what Zoro's dream or Sanji's dream or whatever is, but there's no motivation and there's no character development, and you don't get anything that makes it where people like these characters or there's some character to them. In fact, none of the people join his crew until the final fucking episode, and even then they don't really actually join his crew. They just say, yeah, we're sailing together now. Zoro is his first crewmate. It's the first one that joins because Luffy protects him. He stops the firing squad that was going to kill Zoro from Axe-Hand Morgan, but instead they have Zoro
just had him cut him down and be like,
continue to be like, oh, I'm not part of your crew. I'm not part of your crew. So when you don't have the most loyal person on his crew as the first person that joins it and is actually part of the crew, you don't have anything about Zoro's buddies fighting the Fishman. You don't have Zoro with his scar from Hawkeye's open up while he's fighting Hachi because there's no Hachi, and you don't have.
Well, yet there's only 8 episodes. We don't know.
But there's certain battles that are character defining. There's fights and there's scenes. You have Mihawk kill Don Krieg before he can show up to Baratier. So the whole point of Sanji is null and gone, and there's no reason for Sanji to be a part of their crew. Sanji just joins. He goes, oh, I want to sail, I guess. And Zeph goes, yeah, you should do it. And he goes, cool, I'm out. And there's no character there. Sanji doesn't feed the dying member of Don Krieg's crew just to be attacked by that same person, but still feed them because that's something that has to be done to keep people alive. You don't have Luffy defeating Don Krieg. You don't have Zoro after the battle fighting Mihawk.
But is this all stuff that you've seen in like 1,500 episodes?
No, these are things that you see at the beginning
of the show.
These are character defining moments of the show.
So what happens for the other 1,000 episodes?
Everything after this.
There's more?
This is at the very beginning. This is before they ever reach Logtown. This is before they ever hit the Grand Line. This is before they ever get Chopper and Brooke
I feel
and
like
Frankie.
Do they get to the Grand Line in the end of the series?
No, they didn't even get to Logtown. The teaser at the end of the series is Smoker burning Luffy's wanted poster, waiting on them at Logtown.
I don't think you liked it.
Yeah, Velvet Santa is asking on Twitch. He goes, "Did you like it?"
It's utter fucking garbage. It's trash. Zoro and Zeph are the only good parts about it. But they don't give Zoro his proper background, and they don't give him his character building, because without him fighting unwinnable battles and still succeeding and proving that he can do it despite grave injuries, he's not Zoro. He's just some doucher with a sword. And Sanji not fighting for anyone except for just showing up and cooking a meal. Nami's sister hating her and her not having the fucking strength to even fight for her village.
Yet. Like I haven't gotten that far.
It's
I don't know what a Sanji is yet.
He's the cook. He's the fucking cook. I'm
gonna ice myself.
It sucks. It's garbage. And then you have Garp. Luffy's grandfather, Garp, Vice Admiral of the Navy.
Wait, that's Luffy's grandfather?
Yeah.
You find that out like early?
Yeah, you find that in the live action. You find it out right away. You don't find it out until
I didn't find it. I'm on episode 3.
You should no. They already talked about it by then.
Luffy Garp, who's like, I need the straw hat pirate, and I didn't say anything about that.
Yeah, they mentioned it early on.
I guess I missed it.
Oh
well.
But you don't find that out until they're at Water 7. After they've gotten Frankie and everyone with them well into the Grand Line, and they just give it away right now at the very beginning. And Kobe and Helmeppo being throughout the whole series, garbage. They're supposed to be shitty dudes that have to train to become better, and they become better under Garp, and they're like Garp's personal boys. Also, this isn't me like being some sort of shitbag to be called out on in fucking 2023, but the person that they cast as Kobe is a trans person, And so Kobe's not
I
going
didn't
to
even notice.
Kobe's not going to be able to undergo his fucking transformation into like super beef, no need for my glasses, I'm here to kick ass Kobe, because it's physically not possible. They're going to have to recast Kobe.
We'll see how that shakes out.
The battles are short and uninspired. Luffy does nothing. There's no reason.
He stretches sometimes.
But why is he the leader? Why do they follow him? They don't give any reason for that. Nami and Zoro hate him at the beginning, and for some reason they just flip. And they're like, yeah, I guess I like this guy. But there's no reason. He doesn't display any leadership.
Well, I'm gonna finish it. I'm gonna finish it and check and figure out what I'm gonna watch. Maybe I'll start watching actual old school One Piece. I don't know.
Do it, man. Netflix added a whole bunch of new animated stuff
because it's
probably because of this. And you can get the shortened versions of them.
Short. Do they have like OVAs?
Yeah, they do movie versions of the
Hell yeah.
series arcs.
Sign me up.
But actually, the original part of the series goes very quick, and it's very.
'Cause I'm really into pirates, and that's the one thing about this show that I really did actually like is some of the like the naval battles in the first scene. Like they did some good set pieces, and they did the rope swinging and the ocean shit.
Oh, and that was they had Alvida lead her charge, which is very uncharacteristic of her. Everything about
it's fun to watch because I love that's an era of movie making that they don't do anymore. It died with the first Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah,
and
you don't even get One Piece music until the 4th episode.
Bummer. Well, anyway, it's out on Netflix. I've still got one more thing to talk about. Jake hates it. Clearly,
I absolutely hate it, and the only reason you can understand or make it through the show is if you've already watched a bunch of One Piece. Without real One Piece as reference, this show is kind of...
It's very difficult. I was Googling stuff left and right.
Yeah, there's lots of gaps.
And snails that they stick in their ears and all kinds of weird shit.
That's something they invented for this show. The earpiece Din Din Mushi, that's not real. They have a pocket...
Mushi.
Yeah, electric snail. Or electric bug. They have pocket Din Din Mushi. But the in your ear Din Din Mushi thing.
Well, Din Din Mushi was not a thing that was in my vernacular until
they never name it.
Anyway, well, all right. Well, I've got 5 minutes to talk about They Live. They Live is, if you're not familiar with this movie, it's a 1988 John Carpenter classic, one of his more sleeper hits. I think I have maybe somewhere up here in the upper cam. I can't. Nope, it's not there right now. But They Live. Famous but not famous. I feel like it never got its true accolades because of its best part, which is Roddy Piper. And Rowdy Roddy Piper, best known to most people, an American wrestler.
Actually, Rowdy Piper's Canadian.
He was a Canadian that was famous in American wrestling. And he was the lead in this movie where he tried to play a character very similar to a lot of John Carpenter characters. Say, let's take Kurt Russell, for example, who nailed this sort of thing. But Roddy Piper brought a sort of B-level schlocky shtick to this movie that I think was one of those reasons that it never really got major famous, but it has always stayed cult famous because the message of this movie is more pertinent than it ever has been ever. And one of the things that I really that was shocking to me about watching this movie is I didn't realize. Are you familiar with They Live?
Yeah.
So what I didn't realize.
Sure am.
So if you've never watched They Live, it's about it's about us. We're in America, but this is in the 80s. And this guy, he's down on his luck. He's trying to find work. He's out of work, working odd jobs, trying to get his life together, working in a place where you may have been evicted from your house because rents are going up.
They're putting to stay in the hobo camp.
The middle class is shrinking. That's the rich versus the poor, and they're aliens on planet Earth that are here controlling all the wealth and enticing other Earthlings to sort of, you can be rich if you just help us like keep down the working class and the poor people, accumulate the wealth, serve us. And this group of this sort of rebellion group figures out a way to see through their stuff. And it's like Obey, which is a very famous clothing brand now, is based off of this movie where he wears the glasses and he can see everything. That's just like, consume assume, get married and have children and sleep and don't ask questions and buy your products and watch TV and be a brainless slave to, capitalism. And he gets to see and tries to like fight against it, right? And you got the amazing Keith David, who carries this movie on his two very capable, humongous shoulders. Keith David never got the stardom he truly deserved. He was always a supporting character, but always an amazing character. If you don't know Keith David,
you know his voice.
You know his voice. Like, he is the coolest. But it's Roddy Piper and Keith David kicking ass through the city of Cleveland, trying to defeat these aliens that are hell-bent on,
Is that where it takes place?
It's in Cleveland, yeah.
Oh, okay.
And one of the things that I thought was really interesting, why I don't understand why they've never made a sequel to this, is because in the banquet scene where they kind of break into, they use the watch to go to the banquet scene, and the aliens are talking to all the humans that they've managed to, persuade with money. It said, by 2025, we will have accomplished world greed domination. There will be no more governments. We'll all be under our control, ruled by greed. That's like in 2 years, barely. And I'm like, oh my God. And you look at like TikTok and you look at the way that we're all mesmerized by our phones and we're more consumeristic than we ever have. I'm like, why have they not made a sequel to this? We have 2 years to do it. And they could like make the movie that's like 1 year away from the alien apocalypse, total domination. And they've got us all brainwashed with TikTok and shit. Like, and we have, I don't know, another wrestler like The Rock or John Cena or somebody that's like the main guy. And like, come on, where are my people? I'm willing to this into existence. We have to have a They Live sequel, and it needs to happen now because it wouldn't have to be a remake. That's the brilliant part. It wouldn't have to be a remake. It could just it'd be a sequel.
It would also have to include a 7.5 minute nuts getting kneed inside out like fight scene in the alleyway.
So I will say, so Al says in his comment on Twitch, he says, well, the aliens get exposed at the end, right? As far as we know, it's only in Cleveland. And if we watched Men in Black, we know that aliens can come in and zap us and clean up crew, and that could have been just a very quick, isolated incident in Cleveland. They could have just nuked Cleveland. I don't know. They're aliens. They control all the world's wealth. Dude, I could write a sequel to this in 5 seconds. Like, this needs to happen. I think this would be really, really good. But going back to what you were saying, this fight scene between Keith David and Roddy Piper, you could tell it was like Roddy Piper was like, I'll be in this movie as long as we can have one gratuitous wrestling scene.
Actually, when Roddy Piper was approached to be in the movie, he did have a few requests about what it would be. And that was that, he got to do his own stunts and that he got to come up with some of his own lines, which included the very famous and used by everyone, whether you saw the movie or not, I'm here to kick ass and chew bubble gum.
And I'm all out of
bubble gum.
Yeah. There's like there was one about something being in heat. I
don't know. Roddy Piper wrote a lot of his own lines.
And a lot of them were pretty bad, but the bubblegum line was pretty fun. But that fight scene in the alley, I mean, it's like 5 minutes long.
It's like it's like 7 or 8 minutes long. Yeah.
But
put on the glasses. Put on the glasses.
But the thing is there's a scene in I'm gonna get art nerd here real quick. I think it's A Ghost Story where I think it's Rooney Mara who plays this character. She eats a pie. It's like a 9-minute long scene where she's grieving and eats this pie.
Yeah.
And it goes on so long to where like she's eating pie and then it goes on and you're like, this is the stupidest scene I've ever seen. Can we finish with this pie? Okay, she's eating the pie. And then it goes so long and becomes so real that you're back in it again, and it becomes like this very visceral scene where you just sort of join in. And that's kind of what this fight scene does. Like, the first 2 minutes of this fight scene, you're like, oh, man. And then they're like, oh, it's over. But then it keeps going. And then it keeps going. and then it keeps going, and then Keith David like totally flying knee jabs Roddy Piper's nutsack like 100 times next to this dumpster, and you're like, what is happening? And they beat the ever-living shit out of each other, and then you're just like, this is like two dudes that would never give up, and then you become really invested in it. And
but then he finally puts on the glasses.
But anyway, They Live, like if you've never seen this movie, there is some just fantastic camera work done by John Carpenter. The black and white scenes of the aliens are absolutely like frameable. They are just some brilliant movie making, and this is one of his movies that everybody that's a horror fan knows They Live, but they don't like Halloween. Literally everybody knows Michael Myers. Not a lot of people know They Live. And this is a movie that I think the message that makes this movie scary is way scarier than anything like The Fog or The Thing or Halloween. But because of some of the B-movie schlockiness like Roddy Piper, like the bubblegum shit, it lives in a world of camp when it's one of his smartest movies that he ever did. And I think more people need to see this movie because it's just a really well done. It's science fiction is what it is. It's not horror. I wouldn't classify this as horror at all. It's definitely science fiction before horror. But anyway, Al Topich on Twitch, he just said the world's a bitch and she's back in heat. So yeah, that's and then Vince said that one. Yeah, it's some cheesy lines. Vince asks, did they add anything to the theatrical release? No, they didn't. It was just, well, there was a clip of John Carpenter at the beginning going, hey, thanks for coming out to our 35th anniversary of, They Live. And he goes, the message of this movie is more important than it ever has been, and enjoy. And that was pretty much it. Al says, Piper made two great movies, They Live and Hell Comes to Frogtown. Hell Comes to Frogtown is also a fun watch. Like if you've never seen that one, it is it's watchable. It's definitely worth watching. So anyway, They Live. I think there's a Wednesday show still right now. If you get Fathom events in your town, there is a Wednesday showing. So I know there's one here and there's probably one in your town if they do Fathom events. Highly recommend you go see this, especially if you've never seen it. Even if you have seen it, you probably only watch it on like TBS or something. So great to see it in the theaters. So there we go. Let's talk about the box office. It's that time. So let's go through the box office roundup. I'm not going to do the holiday weekend. It is a Labor Day weekend. They are going to release another box office weekend totals tomorrow, but we're not through that yet because the 9 o'clock shows are still going. So we're going to give you the box office roundup through the 1st through the 3rd of September. And Jake's going to give you the top 10 movies in America right now. We only like to mainly focus on domestic numbers for reasons that I tell you every single week because that's what they use to greenlight shit. So do you want to start with number 10, Jake?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
All right, coming in at number 10, holding at the number 10 spot, and it's 6 week out from A24, Talk to Me, $1.76 million, bringing its domestic total up to 44. That's one that you talked about here on the show.
It was all right.
And then in its 3rd week out, Strays at number 9, $2.5 million, 20.7 is its domestic take so far.
A lot less money than I think they thought this was going to make. My mom absolutely loved this movie because she loves like raunchy drug comms, especially if dogs are eating dicks off.
Which they do, apparently.
They do.
And then in its 5th week out already, coming in at number 8, the Meg 2, The Trench, $2.8 million, brought in 78.1 at the U.S., but it's brought in 376.5 across the world. So
it's a lot.
Not so bad. And then somehow in the top 10 at number 7, Bottoms, $3 million this past week, and it's 2 weeks. 3.7 in the U.S. so far. And then coming in it at number 6, available on streaming, watch at home. We'll see how it goes with that.
I'm going to watch it again just to spite you.
Spend $20. I don't give a shit.
You have to rent it?
Yeah, dude.
Oh,
TMNT, Mutant Mayhem, $4.6 million brought in this past week. 106 at the domestic box office in its 5 weeks. And then 7 weeks out at number 5, Oppenheimer, $5.6 million this past week. So far in the U.S., it's brought in 310. Worldwide, over $850 million. So
Good Lord.
it's Christopher Nolan's third largest grossing film behind 2 of the Batman movies. So it's the first one that he's wanted to do as a thing. And then in its second week out, dropping from the top spot in the number 4 spot this past week, Gran Turismo, $6.5 million, bringing its domestic take to 28.7. And then holding strong at the number 3 in its third week out, Blue Beetle, $7 million, bringing its domestic take only up to 56.4. Worldwide, it's brought in just around about $100 million.
And it had like $120 million budget, I think.
Yeah,
so it needs to make like 200 to break even.
Not gonna.
Yeah, it's
big
not
flop
doing good,
for
yeah.
DC again, which is why James Gunn left it off of his timeline for the DCU. And then holding at number 2 in its 7th week out, Barbie brought in $10.2 million domestically, $609 million, and across the world, it is encroaching on $1.5 billion at $1.38 billion bucks.
I'm just happy to say I haven't contributed to that number.
Yeah.
I still haven't fucking seen it.
I haven't either. Yeah.
I'm just I cannot understand. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm sure it's a great movie. I'm gonna see it. I'm sure it's a fine movie. Is it a $1.5 billion movie? Like, how did they capture that with the internet? The internet made, because $1.5 billion could solve so many world problems. And a lot of the people that go see this movie are like, oh, well, I'm an educated thinker and this movie's got a message. And it's like, well, you realize that just the profits alone from this could rescue several countries from economic demise. It could save the United States, maybe.
Well, and at the same time, you know, I've been pointing out since some of the early trailers that it's just the Lego movie, and then it got called out in some articles from people that it's just the Lego movie. I've seen it before. Why do I need to go see it again?
Well, and okay, so as Ali Sparkman and Vince both say, Ali Sparkman on Twitch, she says, it's a great movie, but it's being crazy overhyped. That's how I feel. Like, the hype is what turns me off of this. And then Vince on Twitch says, has there been any good over $1 billion movies? I would say no.
Titanic.
I mean, maybe. Like, yeah, okay. Like, I will say Titanic's.
Dude, it has Billy Zane.
It's hard for me.
Really? You don't like Titanic?
I just haven't seen it.
You've never seen Titanic?
Whoa, ma'am.
Oh, it's so good. It has Billy Zane.
I wouldn't say so good, but it's worth seeing for sure.
It's pretty good.
I mean, it's a pretty good movie.
It has Bill Paxton.
It does have Bill Paxton.
I've just seen too many memes.
I mean,
about it,
yeah.
so.
And
I watched it in the theater when I was a kid.
I watched it for the
were-
first time at its 20th anniversary.
Really?
That was the first time I saw it. Because forever, on the drive-in speaker, I said, I want to be the guy that goes to the grave, and on my tombstone says, I'm the guy that never saw Titanic.
Oh.
And
That's
then,
gonna be me.
and then when
I was there opening weekend, man.
yeah, and then oh yeah, Velvet Santa's always sending me memes from Titanic Fan 97. It's like,
Is that the guy that collects all the VHS
yeah,
tapes?
I'm like, oh geez, I want to be the guy that collects. Do you remember that time at Tavern Trivia where I had all the VHS cassette copies of Tim Allen's The Santa Claus?
Sure do.
Now, is there one over there? Do we have a VHS cassette copy of Tim Allen's The Santa Claus?
One of our friends.
Because that's the only way I can refer to this movie is the VHS cassette copy of Tim Allen's The Santa Claus. I had like 10 copies of this, and every time I had a reason to like give one away, and I go, wow, well, let me reach into Santa's sack and give a gift. It's a VHS cassette copy of Tim Allen's The Santa Claus. But yeah, I was that guy way before the guy on Twitch was what's TikTok with the Titanic. But I love giving away, like, I want to be the guy that has all the VHS cassette copies of Tim Allen's The Santa Claus. So if you have any, send them my way. And this is pretty mint condition. There's no stickers. There's no Be Kind rewinds.
Yeah, Monk.
This is clean. This is a freaking fresh copy.
Yeah.
Although it does
Thanks,
say,
Monkus.
what does it say? It says shoemate on it. Who's shoemate? Like right here, it says shoemate.
That doesn't matter. But you know
Look
what?
at this. He got his wiener whistle. It says destined to become a holiday classic. This is before it was a holiday classic. That was the quote. Someone was like, my review, destined to become a holiday classic. The New York Post. Yeah.
Well, you know what may become a classic? The movie that opened at number 1, taking a commanding lead here at the box office. Equalizer 3 brought in $34.6 million over this past weekend with, still untold numbers. Today, I had read that it was over 40 million when I was reading about it earlier because initial projections just a week ago.
It's 42 million right now.
Yeah, just 1 week ago, they were like, oh, it's going to be the franchise worst. It's going to be terrible. It's not going to open with any money at all. And then it opens up. They're like, wow, it set the box office record for so many different things. And it's the second highest grossing Labor Day release ever, behind only one of the Spider-Man movies.
For real?
No. Shang-Chi.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Shang-Chi in Secret of the Rings is the highest grossing Labor Day movie, and Equalizer 3 is number 2, bringing in over 40 million, which made it where the box office summer is like over $4 billion or something like that, which is a 20% increase over last year. Doesn't matter. A bunch of dumb numbers that people just give stuff to give them, but what is the point?
Dude, Zootopia made $1 billion.
Is that Equalizer 3 made good money, and that's good. It's a fun movie.
Finding Dory made $1 billion.
Dude, Lord of the Rings, that's a badass movie.
I'm looking at the bad ones.
Jurassic Park.
Frozen, Titanic, Furious 7 made $1 billion. No, it didn't. No way. Captain Marvel made $1 billion. Iron Man 3 made $1 billion. That one's one of the worst ones.
Harry Potter was good.
Beauty and the Beast live action made $1 billion.
Yeah, we talked about that. You
Joker made $1 billion. Oh, Despicable Me 3, Aladdin live action made $1 billion, and no one liked that shit. Oh my god.
A lot of people did.
Alice in Wonderland live action made $1 billion. Was garbage. All this stuff was garbage. Ugh. Humans are garbage. We're all stupid. We're doomed. Everything sucks. You like garbage. Why are you even watching this shit? It's why we don't get any viewers. There's only like 10 people watching. It's because we're the learned ones. We're the ones with the glasses from They Live. Like, we can see through the bullshit. Like, we know. We're cutting through the veil. We're chewing the bubble gum. We're kicking the ass. And we're seeing through this $1 billion sham. So thank you for your this is why we're not celebrity podcasters. It's too much fucking truth on this show. They're keeping us. This is an underground broadcast. Oh man, they're interrupting our signal. The aliens are getting us. Like, this is what's happening. They're shutting us off because we can see. We have the sight here on the drive-in speaker box. What? I'm just Malort gives you sight.
We got the sight. Boo, doo, doo,
we got the power. That's good, Malort. As Vince reminded us, there's no show next week because we're going to go see Tenacious D. So we're going to go. I meant to bring my pick of Destiny.
Oh, I wish I knew where mine was.
I have my pick of Destiny is at home on my desk. I brought it. I pulled it out and I was like, And we didn't have to use a cock push up to steal it either.
Well, you can only do like one of those, right?
Maybe you can.
One's all you need.
One is all you need. When am I drawing for the ticket? Oh, for the Star Wars tickets. Yeah. Do we have our stuff? Do we have our list of people that entered in the? Come on, producer. You've been over there drinking Smirnoff ices and
It's only like 3 people.
Eating
like 30
PB&Js and farting and burping all show long.
So many
Okay,
people.
Chill out. I was not doing that.
Okay, get your notes.
Whoa.
We gotta. This is important. This is important drawing business. Here,
I'm sending it to you.
Okay, we're sending. Okay, I'm gonna do a random drawing here.
There's at least 5 people.
Hey, out of 500 entries that we got here.
Oh, yeah, my bad. Here are the other ones I just found.
Okay, yeah, this is our drawing music here. I'm glad you reminded me because okay. Here we go. All right, I'm going to take these and we're going to put them in our randomizer that's on the ground.
Jesus Christ.
Hang on. There we go. And I'm putting it into the system. Hang on. Just the people poppy people beep beep pop beep 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 pop beep 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 boop. It's yeah. Okay. I'm putting it into the system right now. Just give it a second. It's got to calculate all of the.
Why not just write a number next to them and then get a random number generator?
Yeah, because this is more advanced. This is more advanced system than that, Jake. Like, God, get with the fucking program, bro. Like, here, the names are in the Days of Thunder hat, and you get to draw one.
Oh gosh, it's put on.
You're the system. Da 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 da. You didn't even know what was gonna happen.
Here it is.
Okay, you read it.
Me.
You're the winner.
Oh, I'm the winner. Turns out you turds can suck it, because I'm going to watch Star Wars. And Druid
is our winner of a ticket. Actually, I've got 2 tickets, so let's give away a second ticket. There we go. Come on, let's just do it.
Here it is.
All those people.
Al Topich.
Al Topich wins a ticket, and he's actually watching. So, Al.
Does everyone live here?
Al will have to drive up here.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, you got a ticket if you want to. If you want to forfeit the ticket, we will find a home for it. But yeah, September 8th, the Star Wars Symphony of Northwest Arkansas. Man, I'm just a terrible show host because I should have been way more on the spot about giving things away. But thank you, Night Ashley, for reminding me to give those away. So Al Topich, if you want that ticket, chime in now. If not, you can give it to Night Ashley, who lives here in Fayetteville.
Claim it, man. It's yours.
Yeah.
It's your destiny. It's the Force.
Yeah. So if Andrew does not get back to me in the next 3 days, then Night Ashley, and you could take Night Owlish lit. I can see about getting a double seat. So want to make sure that you can take the whole fam. But anyway, all right. Well, we're gonna get out of here. He's got to get to work. It's getting hot in here, and I'd rather turn on the air conditioner than take off all my clothes. So
we would all prefer that.
Yeah, me too. So thanks for tuning in, guys. We will see you guys next week. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube Live.
We won't see you next.
No, we won't.
Monday.
Did I say that? It's just autopilot at this point. We will see you the week after that. So thanks for tuning in. Like and share and subscribe. Tell all your friends that we're the best. Put your sunglasses on. Break through the bullshit. Don't obey. Don't sleep. Fight the power. I don't know. Bye. I can't find my mouse. Where's my mouse? Jake, help me. I can't find my mouse. Okay, we're coming back on the screen. Oh, it's right there. I have 3 monitors because I have to push this button to do this.
As you leave the theater, folks,
see, there we go.
Please be careful. Don't let this happen to your car. Be sure to remove the speaker before you leave. If you should accidentally pull a speaker loose, please turn it in at our snack bar or box office. Thank you.